Hi guys, welcome to Kingspirit Studio Imageroom podcast. Yeah, actually it's a podcast. Yeah, so on this podcast we're going to be tackling different topics that revolves around creativity. Yeah, we are all about creatives, man. So if you're a creative, I believe you'll be so much interested in this podcast. So today, hey man, we're chilling with one of the most respected.
Wow.
Yeah, yes, man, respected creative director by the name of Muzi. Some call him Muzi, but his actual name is Muzi Aise. That's
Right. Wow, I'm actually surprised you pronounced it just right. Eh?
Yeah, Muzi Aise. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Muzi has been a creative director for quite some time now.
Yep.
For years, man. And you've worked with different brands,
Yep.
different agents. Yeah, so tell me, I think someone out there maybe who's also aspiring to be a creative director maybe in the next years,
Yeah.
they would really want to know what drove you, what inspired you to be where you are today, or what inspired you to be in the creative space?
Okay, so my creative journey started some time back. Hey? I've never told a lot of people this story, so you guys will be, or anyone watching this is now gonna pretty much know. But
You guys are lucky.
yeah. It's now obviously my mom will know because she actually inspired it. My mom pretty much. When I was a kid, she used to fill my mind with so much nonsense, No.
You
No.
didn't mean that.
No,
You didn't mean
for
that.
real.
Mom,
Okay.
you didn't mean that.
Look, so I don't know, like when I was a kid, right? She would tell me stuff like my tooth would fall off. You know how it is when you're like 4 years old, that's when you're really, all the teeth are like going for some reason, right? So she'd tell me, no, just go put the tooth just by the windowsill there, and in the morning you're gonna find some chocolate, right? So for real, like I'll go to bed, I wake up in the morning and there's chocolate there, you know what I'm saying?
Fairy
So
tales, man.
yeah, so I think, I don't know, man, my mom used to fill my mind with so much imagination, She told me also that the sun is a big light bulb put there by Americans, or I don't know, Bazungus. But anyway, so like my imagination used to just go crazy with this stuff, and
Wow.
she never dude. The funniest one actually, every Easter holiday, right? There's those Easter eggs, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't like the ones with the marshmallows inside.
Yeah.
You know what I
Also
mean?
hated those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you remember well, they used to make the ones which were hollow on the inside, right? So yeah, I would go to my mom and tell her, Mom, like they gave me these ones with the marshmallows inside, and I can't eat these things, right? And she was like, cool, don't worry, go and put them at the back of where you keep your clothes in the wardrobe, right? I'll be like, okay, sharp, I'll go put them there. And I'm like, Mom, what's gonna happen if I put them there?
Yeah.
She's like, there's gonna be a bird that's gonna come and put its beak and suck out all the marshmallow.
Your mom is a genius.
Yeah. And then like for sure, I'd like wake up the following day, I'll go there and I would find, damn, like they're hollow like Easter eggs, you know what I mean? And it was crazy. So yeah, man, like I've always just been a really imaginative person. And naturally, even my family, I don't know, maybe our parents just raised us that way, but they used to really like it when we would draw things. I think maybe as parents, they really took more, maybe more interest in the way that we would draw or artworks, things that would come and show. So I always used to like the response that I would get from my parents every time that I would draw something. And, I guess it developed into a talent that, when I would get to much higher levels of school, like rather in high school.
Yeah.
And university, like I was actually more of okay, maybe not at university as yet, because it was tough in university, but like in high school, I was literally the probably the best top 5 artists in the whole school, So carrying that portfolio into university, I met some tough competition, of course. I went to a school which was, there wasn't so many black people I went to that school. I'll just say there was Bazungus for days, man. So, ish, and you know, like my
your
mom
life
really.
has always been about Bazungus.
Right. I guess, well, not really, but you know, I guess, you know, look, my parents really sacrificed quite a lot in order for me to get, you know, the education. Especially imagine paying so much fees for me to go and study like things like design.
Yeah.
A lot of parents, you know, they don't really support this career as much. If you tell your parents you want to be an engineer, or you want to be a doctor, or you want to be a lawyer, they're gonna be like, it's good, go for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you tell your parents you wanna be a graphic designer or you wanna be a photographer, they'll be like, what's that? You know what I mean? But like, you know, my parents, or I would even say my mom, because yeah, my dad was late by that time, unfortunately. But it's a bit of a downer. It's tough. Dads die. It is what it is. No, I'm kidding. Ish, God bless his soul. But like my mom, superwoman, she believed in me. She, you know, supported that dream, and you know, I went to school, really good school called Greenside Design Center in Johannesburg.
Oh, nice.
Good school. Shout out to those guys. Hopefully we can tag them in this.
Yeah.
And you know, from there, like I was really exposed to so many different cultures. Like I said, you know, there was quite a lot of racial groups there. There was also you know, a lot of cross cultures, and you know, a lot of techniques, like heavy academic works that were there. Further to that, you know, they really equipped us with skills of being really critical when it comes to how we do our work, right? Things such as research, things such as really understanding, like psychology, understanding how people respond to color, how people respond to like maybe words or anything that is visual, you know what I mean? So all those things pretty much still play a lot in the career that I've built for myself now. When I got into the workspace, I had one goal. I you know, within like a year of working, I already knew that, you know, I think my talents or whatever that I was carrying from school was really meant for something that's just a bit higher than everyone else.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I felt like I was well equipped to be a really good creative in the space, you know what I mean? So when I eventually obviously started rising up, at first I was hired as a graphic designer, multimedia, social media designer, when social media was actually coming up around that time. I was at David Crute projects in Johannesburg as well. So yeah, got a lot of friends. Hopefully we can also tag them too.
Yeah, definitely. We'll tag everybody.
Yeah. You know, shout out to David Crute, Same, Sneyman. I think she's married now. But anyway, so those guys pretty much gave me my proper first breakthrough. I'm really happy with them. I went to other agencies, of course, numerous, growing up the ranks until I became an art director for some time. Very important role for a designer. It's a specialist role, right? You have to. An art director is a person who has perfected the art, right? So it's I don't know. I think if you can make it as an art director, you can actually really just be an art director for the rest of your life. It's cool because you're really about the craft itself. But there's just a level above that, obviously, which is creative director, where now, you know, because of my involvement with so many clients, I started to really appreciate the business side of things. You know, approaching strategies and how to align a strategy, rather creative thinking to a strategy. That's pretty much what, you know, I practiced that for a long time, and as such, you know, I managed to earn the role of a creative director, right? So, and I've pretty much worked in that role, you know, for I think now 2 companies. Some of them I've worked as a creative director and as a art director. There are some companies which didn't have a creative director, but you had the art director, they would pretty much leave the studio as well. But yeah, look, for anyone trying to be in this role, my biggest advice is obviously this stuff has to come natural to you. You need to love it, right? You can't be an art director or rather a creative director if you are not truly like insanely in love with what you do, because the job really requires for you to have it like almost naturally, like as an instinct. You know what I'm saying? And further to that, like you need to take a big interest in the business side of it, right? Creative itself alone, obviously it's a driver of message, right? The more creative, the more that maybe you are able to intrigue people, you're able to get people's attention. Now attach that to a business deliverable, to a product, to a service, you know what I mean? That ability to really be able to do that and, you know, lead a team that through a strategy like that, that's really an interest that you should take, the business side.
Business side of it.
I think that's really it. And I mean, I think one of the last thing is obviously that I would advise for anyone wanting to go into a career path is to identify a mentor, right? Someone that you definitely can say, this person, I want to be like this guy, you know, and tell them, you know what I mean? Declare to them that, dude, I want to sit where you are either sitting, or I want to emulate your career. I want to make the kind of money you're making. I want to have the kind of like passion and energy that you bring to a studio, you know? So for me, it was this guy called Kavongwe Moyo. Right?
Oh, nice.
We're definitely going to tag him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kavongwe Moyo played a really big, we call him Kavo. He played a really big role in my career development. I identified him obviously as someone that I could look up to, and he was really glad to just be like, Woza, you know, let's get it done. So you know, yeah, truly grateful to him for him. So yeah.
Yeah. So
I think with the creative director question, I don't know. I've really digressed a bit.
Yeah, you went deep. Yeah, man, you went deep.
I don't even know how long that was.
Yeah, you went deep. You actually mentioned something about something that you actually taught at school. That you guys would have to do research. You would have to understand color.
Yes.
So you know, some people don't really understand what's a creative director. You know, some people might be thinking, maybe you're just, you know, directing creatives, you know, but they don't know that there is a lot that actually goes in there. You know, you have to understand what, because you know, you're dealing with brands, you know, you're dealing with clients, so you need to understand the clients. So you as a creative director, how do you manage to develop a solid understanding, especially for these brands that are already well established?
Okay, so with brand development, it's really about creating a story or a narrative for your client, right? So when you think of a particular product, you want to attach certain feelings for them, right? So if we look at Apple, that's always the easier one to go for. But when you look at Apple, right, the first thing you think about is, you know, that association with it being like opulent, you know, it being easy to use, and the in thing, or the best version of technology there is. You know what I mean? So they've really managed to cement that, and I only use a few of their products, and you know, because of my career, I want things that perform. So I'm more on the Samsung side of things, and also, you know, because I want to get things done. You know what I'm saying? But look, I respect the brand that Apple is. For example, you know, as a creative director now, since I meet clients,
you need that.
You need because this thing, it seals the deal. You know, it's different from it's different if you go with an Acer or a Dell laptop, you know, to a client presentation. They'll be like, but we have these too. You know what I mean? But the brand really, if you're client facing, you want something that shows that, you know. So anyway, those are the things that people value in brands. And as a creative director, if I'm given a client where I'm told to enhance their brand appeal, I need to understand obviously who they currently are, who their current customers, how they feel about them, right? And you know, what are their best values, right? And that are known and publicly known, right? And generally known. Then from there, I'll ask the client, how do they want to be seen and understood, right? And then, you know, from that, I'll be able to develop a campaign that does exactly that. And from it, I'm able to now, not only a campaign rather, but also the brand itself, how it is felt, right? And then the advertising is just another thing where obviously how I feel about your brand will influence whether I choose to purchase your product or not. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Or how much I choose. If it's the same product, the brand is stronger, I don't mind spending more money.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that I can be associated with the brand. Because
yeah.
people really don't buy products per se, right? They buy brands,
True.
especially if you got the money
Yeah.
and you can choose. You want to be associated with something, right? So personally, I want to be associated with the way I dress sometimes. I want to be associated with Nike because the values that they pretty much embody, especially for black people. Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Black people made the Nike brand. I would like to believe.
A lot of
Michael
people.
Jordan, Tiger Woods,
Yeah.
name them. You know
man.
what I'm saying? LeBron James, like. I really believe that. I don't know. I hope I'm not upsetting people, but like I really like the brand.
Yes. Yeah.
So even just the way I am, and that's the thing. I don't care if a Nike is gonna cost X amount, and I'll spend that money. You know what I'm saying? I wanna be able to create that same feeling for the clients that come to me. So with all the clients that I've had in Zambia and all these other places that I've worked, I've wanted to replicate the same thing. How can I make people just totally lose their mind when it comes to whether they want to purchase your product or not? They don't care about the product, how it functions. They're buying the feeling that the brand gives you. Yeah, I think that's really and truly what you want to do with brand development. Make it obviously, create how it looks on the eyes, then create how it feels on the inside.
Hey, man. You guys, you're being given this content for free. Imagine, man.
Free of charge, Baba.
Free of charge, Baba. This guy could be charging us right now.
No, actually, cut it.
Yeah, man. Hey.
No. Hey, I need to
deep.
monetize this. I'm writing a book.
I tell you, man. Hey.
No, this is just common. You can read about this stuff.
Yeah.
I've just internalized it because I have to. My role requires me to, and also just the love for the arts really just requires me, and my love for people, and giving them that. I'll go on forever.
All right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I believe in the creative space there are advantages and there are also disadvantages, right? So you as a creative director, what are some of the challenges that you've actually experienced in the creative space, especially in your creativity? Yeah. What
In
are some
Zambia or
in
just-
Zambia or anywhere else where you have worked before?
Okay, I think the biggest thing and it's not just creative directors per se, but creatives in general, right? There's always that balance between what is corporate or what the person paying the money, what do they want, and what does their ego say about the decision they wanna make about a creative decision, right?
All right.
Then there's you fighting to make sure that, look, dude, I actually am trained or I understand exactly what you need to get to where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And being able to convey that to a client, right, is very, very difficult. I feel, look, I've won that battle quite a lot of times, but every time that I encounter it, it's a new battle. It's always a battle. You know what I mean? It's tough to get a lot of clients to buy into the whole creative, to have their whole system of communication to pretty much trust people with their brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And trust creators with their brand, because they're like, no, I've been to Harvard School of Business, I've been to WITS to study business. What is this graphic designer going to tell me about how I should run my company or how I should communicate to my audience? I know marketing. No. That's different. You know what I mean? You can understand how a business runs, but you don't understand people. Graphic designers or designers or creative directors understand people.
Yeah.
Filmmakers understand people. You know what I mean? And we understand how to get those messages, what you want as a business deliverable, into how people will respond to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always tough, I won't lie. We spend, in agency, we spend at least 80% of the time trying to convince our clients to trust the process that we want to take them through. instead of actually now really investing more in trying to perfect the process, we spend more time trying to tell them, look, this is what you should do, instead of spending more time in actually getting it done and, you know, fixing it as we go along. But most of the times, you know, the most unfortunate circumstance is that you come up with a really clever idea, client shoots it down and tells you, no, do it this way, use this color, use this font, use this model, right? You do that, right? And then now you're fixing it along the way, which means, you know, when, for example, if you tell your client to stop using stock images, right? Then they go ahead and do that. Next time when they see a billboard, 2 billboards back to back, same image, you know what I mean? Because no one really wants to invest that much into creating their own content, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's, I think to answer your question in maybe one sentence, it's really difficult to get clients to invest fully and trust creatives with their brands, you know. That's always tough. And I always challenge, you know, creatives to never give up. You know what I mean? If your client doesn't give you, I always tell the guys here, you know, I've been working at Kingspirit for some time now, and I always tell the guys that, you know, even if your client does not accept your creative decision, I've had to be politically correct there. Even if your client does not accept your creative decision, you can still do creative work. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you're never restricted, because at the end of the day, there's something that you want to put out there that is super creative, man. I don't know. That's what we do.
Man. It's really a crazy world, you know. I think a lot of people, especially, I think people from, is it the old age? Yeah, they like you say, you know, it's always.
Well, my mom is creative, though. You know, we've established that.
Oh, all right, yeah. So it's always that thing whereby they don't really understand, you know, how creatives works.
Oh yeah.
How creatives work, you know, and they don't
very
really,
functional.
Yeah, you know, it's always hard to convince them.
Yes.
Hey, man.
Trust the process.
You know, trust the process. Yeah, man. So, what are some of challenges that you have faced, especially in brand development? Like what are some of the challenges that you have faced, and how did you manage to overcome those challenges?
I mean, that was it, really.
All right.
But yeah, like Martin, it's yo, the mother tongue is just slipped in. Slipped in. So yeah, look, it's always trying to get a client to pretty much buy into your idea. And I think that's always the tough thing. And you know, going into an industry that is really, really formal, as you said, people are very, very rigid. There's, you know, your marketing budget is, you know, it's allocated, and the person who's supposed to spend that money has got a huge eye on them. Like, you know what, this money we're spending it needs to bring business. You know what I mean? So that's always the tough thing. You know, being able to convince your client that you're the right person to actually, you know, take them to use that money wisely.
Yeah, man.
And that's what really separates a lot of creative professionals and agencies, right?
Yes,
I think something that we've done that I like about Kingspirit, right, is that Kingspirit always hires the best people, right? And so that the clients always get the best value per kwacha, you understand, or best value per rand or per dollar, you know what I mean? It's when a client spends maybe like a million kwacha or million rand or $1 million, it's almost guaranteed that, you know, when you have the best people in your studio or the best creative team, right, that you're gonna get more value for that amount of money that you put through.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Great. So I think this is going to be the last one. I just wanted you to give an advice, you know, to some of the people maybe who are actually upcoming creatives. Yeah. What's your word for them?
I would say just, you know, get up in the morning, right, and go and create content, right? You learn everything that you do by repeatedly doing it every single day, right? There's, you know, just be that person who wakes up earliest, be that person who takes up the hard assignments, be that person who creates their own briefs, be that person who creates their own, so they're always busy, you know what I mean? I'd like to say, I've never really calculated really, but I'm pretty certain I spent over 20,000 hours drawing, you know what I mean? So that day, obviously, you get a lot of practice from all that. It really helps. Also, being clear with your goals, right? You need to know what you're waking up to go do. What are you serving? Are you going to work to make money, or are you going to work to make money for a project? You know what I mean? You have to be really deliberate, and have a plan of achieving these things. Identifying good mentors, identifying a proper plan for yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to be the best creative director, or the best cinematographer, or the best photographer, or what, you need to look into what it actually takes and pursue that like every day. Identify the mentors, have a strong portfolio, publish, talk about your work, blog about your work, get a lot of like feedback from people, and try to really get associated with big agencies such as Kingspirit.
Yes.
Try to get associated also with big clients. You know what I mean? You want clients that will really that are more on the global spec. People who, even when now you've done some work, you can actually publish some of the work that you've done for these guys, and it'll be more appreciated globally because it's a global brand. You know what I mean? Those are tips that I can definitely advise a creative.
All right.
But otherwise, just get up and do it. You know what I mean? Just
All right.
yeah, hours.
There you have it, folks. Hey, man, make content, do the work. Man will come later, man. Yeah. Let's not put man first. I think that's the most challenge that we have, especially with our generation now.
Yeah. If you put money in front of your eyes, then you can't see the future.
You can't
know what
see
I mean?
the future, man. Yeah. So guys, please make sure that you tune in for the next episode. Kingspirit Podcast.